Today is not going to be any explanation talk, but rather than all of that, I am going to discuss and present my perspective towards time traveling to the past. Remember last time, like way before last time, we did this grandfather paradox experiment in which a traveler travels back in time to the past just to kill his or her innocent grandfather in order to prevent his or her own existence at the very first place. And this creates a paradox. Like that, every time the traveler will travel back in time just to prevent his or her own existence, which will then prevent the traveling back in time, and this will all loopifies everything. But today we are going to actually work upon, like really on papers, at least in front of our eyes, so that we can see how is this whole situation will be like in front of our eyes. So let me quickly bring this my whiteboard, and today there will be no editing in this video because I want to keep this as raw as possible. So there will be no cuts, there will be no background music. All you can hear is my voice, my melodious voice. Okay. So actually, let me just clarify it. I'm not going to explain you anything. I'm just going to work upon myself, and you can have a visuals of me working upon myself, upon my theories, upon my perspectives. So it's more of a discussion. You are always welcome to present your own perspective, which I always welcome and respect. And yes, you are allowed to present your own perspective and your own theories regarding this. So let's just draw. So say, for the very first thing that we are going to draw is the grandfather. So let's say this is the grandfather. Let's give him a hat. I don't know what sort of hat is this, and give him a mustache, like nice. And here is his body. So this is the grandfather. Let's call GF grandfather. GF grandfather. I hope you understand. Okay, now, since there is a grandfather, which will then give rise to the father, and the father is like this, and let's give him a mustache again. Now this is the father. Let's call this F. Now further in the further chain of this evolution, well, not evolution, sort of evolution. Okay, so further in this chain, we'll got the traveler himself or herself maybe. Let's give him our glasses like that. So this is a traveler. This is the main cause of whole scenario. He or she, let's call him for just easiness, just call him he. So he travels back in time so that he can kill his innocent yet unmarried grandfather. So this grandfather right here is unmarried, okay. Now he traveled back in time to the past. So let's go here, from here. So he time travel. Just give it a rectangular. Okay, it's a proper visualization of everything. Okay, just bear with me. And here he kills the grandfather, so that the grandfather was which was existing perfectly fine, now is no more. So let's cross this. Okay, so now since grandfather is no more, and he yet didn't get any chance to marry the grandmother, so there will be no father. So again, cross this, no father. And since there is no father, then there will be no traveler at all. Now, the very first common problem that we generally all face, that we stop right here. We don't go forward than this, because here we are getting the paradox and we just stop here. But are we? Is this really a paradox? We have to continue this chain forward even further. Well, I can see this video can be way too many long, so either this video might be in parts, or maybe I just release, or not release, but I just put it as much as I want. Okay, so now this is a paradox, right? So it's not possible that I am existing just to prevent my own existence. So it is the paradox. Now, if the traveler, or like I said, I am the traveler, if he is not existing, then that means there will be no one that travel back in time. Okay, just bear with me. So there will be no one that travel back in time. That means if I just went here, so there will be no one which travel back in time. So let's just give it a cross like this. So there will be no one to time travel back in time. So that means if there is no one to travel back in time, so there will be no one that has killed the grandfather. That means the grandfather would be alive. Okay, so this is not the same line. Okay, this line is basically jumping over this beyond this below line. So there will be grandfather, and since there will be grandfather, there will be father, there will be father, then that means there will be the traveler. So do you see right here? Like do you notice anything right here? This is a loop. See, grandfather existing, father existing, so does the traveler. And traveler existing, and he has a lot of trouble in his mind. So he time travel back in time so that he can kill the grandfather. If there is no grandfather, there will be no father. If there will be no father, there will be no traveler. And if there will be no traveler, then there will be no one to time travel to the past. And if there will be no one to time travel to the past, there will be grandfather, because there is no one to time travel to the past which allowed grandfather to die at the very first place. And if there is grandfather, there will be father. If there is father, there will be a traveler. And this loop basically continue forever. So is it right to call it a paradox, or is it right to call it a loop? It can be a paradox, maybe it's not, or maybe it's not at all a paradox. Maybe it's just the limitations of our mind or our capabilities that we are not allowing ourselves to believe that it's no more a paradox. But what we are supposed to notice here. So remember, this is a loop. But this is not a proper loop. It is looping. Okay, I agree. It is looping, but it is not looping in one dimension. Or at least, like if I draw on this piece of whiteboard, so it's 2-dimensional. So this loop is basically 2-dimensional. But this loop has more capabilities just being 2-dimensional. This loop is actually 3-dimensional. Like this loop this loop wants to be 3-dimensional. You know how? See, this is a loop. It's continue. Right here, no time travel. And see, at this point, this loop is wanting from us that kindly please make this 3-dimensional. It is a 3-dimensional loop. See right here, right there. This line cannot, like this line has no space, no dimension to cross this line. Obviously we can, like if consider this, if this is a pen and this pen has to cross it, but if this is a 2D plane, only 2D plane, and those pens are only allowed to travel in 2-dimension plane of surface. So this pen can only go like this. It cannot cross. But we as a human who has capabilities to travel 3-dimensionally, you can just say, okay, you have to just lift this pen up, and you just have to cross this pen beyond, above this pen, right? So how do we do that basically? So I have this interesting strip called Mobius strip.